So the big news for guys like me and Dan, and I'm sure lots of you guys listening and or watching, the Helix firmware 3.0 was released today. And actually, in the process of Dan falling out of his signal chain, I updated my HX Stomp to 3.0 while I was
It
waiting.
has a beautiful new loading screen. That's like one of the things
Mm-hmm.
the internet has exploded about.
And
Among
that's it. Nothing else.
nothing else, no, it's all the same sounds. Just the loading
Yeah.
screen is new. You can play Doom on the screen while it loads. Um, yes, and no, we're kidding about that. There's a
Yep.
whole lot that's new in it and very exciting.
What of the things that you saw that were you the most excited about?
Well, um, uh, I think that I will find occasion to use the polyphonic pitch shifter.
Yep.
It's had a mono pitch shifter for a long time that has not done well with chords at all. I mean, it's just not.
Yep.
It's not built for that. It's very very poor. They brought out a bunch of polyphonic effects and patch, blocks, essentially
Mm-hmm.
a reverb and a number of other things. And one of them is basically a whammy pedal. The Digitech whammy being emulated in their code. And the samples I've heard of it have been really good, really very impressive. Um, and then there are a few other really nice like freeze effects and
Yep.
glitch delay and
Glitch delay is really cool.
so
I'm really
neat
stoked
and
about
a looper. What do they call it?
Shuffle looper.
Shuffle looper. Yeah, that
Is it shuffle or shuttle?
it's shuffle because what it's
Yeah.
doing is it takes the loop that you feed it and cuts it into as many pieces as you want and randomizes them and randomly octaves them up or down or and then may reorder them each time it plays the loop if you tell it to. And so it becomes this sort of almost like a rhythm backing that you can play on top of that's built from a chord you just held and fed into the looper. There was one guy demoing it that way. And people
Yeah.
are going to come up with all kinds of crazy stuff for that. They're going to use it in ways that are amazing. So it's a really big upgrade. You were excited about some of the more traditional sort of contents of it, right?
Yeah, the things that I saw that I was really excited about were a couple of the new components. They have an official Horizon devices, Horizon Drive.
Mm-hmm.
They also have separated the gate out of that pedal so that you can utilize it for other spots in the signal chain. Um, for HX Stomp users, it opens up the ability to have up to 8 blocks now. I will say that if you put that if you put the polyphonic shifter anywhere on there, you can't do much else. So that's not going to be something that I'm going to be able to use a whole lot with the Stomp.
Right.
But with the full blown Helix, I feel like there's a lot of options there.
They said very loudly
Oh,
in their release notes that all the polyphonic things are very processor intensive. So,
yeah.
you should not expect them to just drop right into your current patch. One of the things I love about Line 6 is their release notes. Can we just talk about how the brilliance? I write release notes for a living, and in my industry, you don't get to have too much fun with them. But these guys
Right.
are having a blast. At one point, I mean, they talked about how the Stomp now has 8 blocks, but it's not like it got 20% more DSP. You're
Yeah.
just going to use it faster. And the release note says something like, if the people who complained about not having enough blocks now complain about running out of DSP, we will send hoodlums to their door to apply an atomic wedgie to them. It's like,
That was basically verbatim
thank
what
you,
it says.
thank you. I enjoyed it so much. I wish that I could do that in what my work output, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, there's lots of workflow stuff too. So you now have a favorites section.
Mm-hmm.
You have user defaults. So if you have certain effects that you like to use, or certain amps that you've already tweaked to your liking or to your current setup, you can save those as favorites or as the defaults. And so when you instantiate them into new patches, it retains all of your settings. Like that's
Great.
from a workflow standpoint, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Spillover between presets,
Yeah.
that's a huge
Yeah.
deal. Um,
Expensive, but huge.
yeah,
The way that they implemented that. So the idea is, you could have a reverb trail or a delay trail going, switch to a whole different patch, not a snapshot, a different patch, and those trails will continue.
yep,
How they do that is by taking half of the DSP power and basically duplicating your whole chain and running it in parallel. So you can only set up one chain. Takes away the other one from you because it's just gonna
yeah,
all it's there for is to play those trails after you've switched away from that patch.
yeah.
It's a clever implementation, but it needs to be your simple patches you do that on.
Well, it also cracked me up that they felt compelled to give you a history lesson in the release
Yes.
notes. Like, point of order,
Yeah.
the only true spillover option were these 4 or 5 Digitech
Yeah.
models from whenever.
Yeah. And they did it this way, so we're doing it the same way, and it's painful,
Yep.
but we're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Frank and all the guys over at Line 6 have done a tremendous job of, first of all, completely torturing all of us as they were, you know, sussing out
Yeah.
all these features. But also, you know, with the release, lots of cool stuff. Oh, the other thing, the acoustic simulator,
Right.
which you can use in tandem with like impulse responses and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's going to make things super, super versatile. And the idea that you could theoretically have a full patch that's like amp stuff and all the effects that you may need, and then you have like one button that turns everything off except for an acoustic simulator and a
Right.
couple of other things.
Right.
Like, that's
Right.
genius.
Right. And one of the polyphonic patches is a polyphonic
12-string.
Yeah, 12-string emulator. So suddenly, I mean, the horizons just widened for what Helix can do in a dramatic way. It's pretty cool.
And you know, for all the talk that we've done about all of these different pieces of hardware, like the core, the GT 1000 core, and the neural stuff, like even Kemper for that matter, like the thing that separates Line 6 from all of these other companies is their customer support
Yep.
and their investment in the ecosystem.
Right.
Like, they have like really
Yes.
made sure that, you know, they're continually adding value to the platform and finding new ways of, you know, using the existing hardware without, you know, bricking all the old stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and you know, I also, the other thing I appreciate about them is their community engagement. You know, they're in the major Facebook groups. Developers and product people and business leaders from Line 6 are participating out loud. You know, we know their names, those of us who are in those groups.
yeah,
And you know what that of course turns into is, over the last 3 months there have been 4 posts a day asking when 3.0 would be coming out. You know, and
yeah,
and all these jokes about, their answer is always soon.
yes.
So like all these like jokes about soon is the answer. Memes about soon and whatever. But you know, it's part of the fun. Like, there's a community that's excited about it and eager for it and talking about it, and it makes it more than just a pedal you play your guitar through. It's like kind of a community. It's pretty great.
Yeah. And, you know, I just want to clarify that there's like a ton of other things that we have not brought up. There's additional amps and other things that they have added to this release, but you know,
It's a biggie.
I think everybody's kind of got their own little niche of the feature set that they're excited about.
Yeah.
I know that, you know, they're doing artist presets. Like, that's cool. I don't think, you know, I'll end up using those.
I'll mess with them, but
yeah,
maybe.
I mean, some of the stuff is not as exciting as other stuff, but like they brought some heavy hitters in, you know, Misha Mansour from Periphery, and a bunch of people. And I'm sorry that I can only think of Misha right now, because there's like,
I can't even think of that.
Literally 20 others.
Yeah,
but
a bunch of people contributed patches. Now, it is of course a universal truth that all presets suck, because they're not built for your guitar, they're not built for your hands, they're not, you know, none of them are as good as one that you craft to fit your own sound. But as a jumping off point or as inspiration, they're priceless. So
yeah, think of it like proof of concept.
yeah.
Like, this is what it could sound like.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of like a good template, and you're like, well, what if I take this thing and I replace it with this thing?
Well, it's pretty good, but what if it had a little bit of this in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff. I'm really, you know, I built a patch with 7 blocks on the HX, and it had a few of the new deedly doos that I want to try out.
Good.
So
Good.
Feeling pretty good about it,
Good.
and excited.
I think that the glitch delay actually does have a deedly doo setting.
Yeah, it probably.
I think it does. You play long deedly doo. I think that's built in. Deedly doos.
Definitely. I am now very self-conscious about saying 100%, because really that's a drinking game that
cheers,
you guys are currently doing. So yeah, lots of exciting, fun news in the guitar world. Very cool.
All right, that's gear news.
So